Good morning. Welcome to A Walk with Tilly. There's young Tilly. Good girl. Good girl. And a beautiful morning from central Portugal, where we're having a nice stroll up in the mountains, where the air is fresh and clear, and it's an absolutely crystal clear blue sky. Now we're forecast to have thunderstorms today, but so far we're looking like we might have escaped them. But as the day unfolds, we'll find out. Being in the mountains, it can be a little bit changeable here. But so far this morning is absolutely glorious. It's warm and beautiful. Anyway, okay, so something caught my attention. Well, it caught my other half's attention. She mentioned it to me and sent me a link to read. And that was... Now, there was a select committee chaired by Chris Bryant earlier in the summer. And during that select committee, he questioned Liz Truss, the then Foreign Secretary, about raising human rights while she was visiting different nations, and specifically and in particular the Gulf states, to which she replied that yes, we do that, and we have done that. I can't think of a specific incidence where we've done it, but we have done, and I will write to you to give you the details, which is, I think, evasive is probably the best way of putting it. When under question, she couldn't actually recall off the top of her head a specific incident of having done it. Would seem odd, because it's a pretty major thing. Obviously, the Gulf states don't have the... I think it would be not unreasonable to say the Gulf states have a checkered relationship with human rights. I think you could probably be a lot stronger and unequivocal in your viewpoint upon that, but I think it's certainly at the very best not unreasonable to say that there are questionable incidences occurring. Anyway, Liz Truss said that she had raised that. Tilly, good girl, wait. That discussion, I had that discussion on different occasions, just unable to recall at that particular select committee the specific incidences, which again, although it doesn't suggest being particularly across your brief, at the same time is not an unreasonable situation to be in, and plausible. Weak but plausible. Tilly, wait. Okay, just had to put young Tilly on the lead here, because we're about to cross a road shortly down the other side of the hill, and although there isn't much traffic, I figure it's a better safe than sorry. There's a couple of roads where I've never seen a car even, so, but here you can get a few come through. So anyway, so yes, under examination, Liz Truss couldn't recall a specific incident of having discussed human rights with the Gulf state, but agreed to get in touch with the chair, which was Chris Bryant, and in writing communicate those discussions with him, and I think a summary probably of what they contained and when. All okay so far, if slightly inept. Anyway, clock rolls forward. Article in The Guardian, I believe either yesterday or the day before, that was... Oh look, we've got a beautiful view down there, look, discussing this situation. Chris Bryant having made public the conversation and the correspondence as asked, I believe it would be probably for further clarification. Essentially, under the information that has been given by Liz Truss, she would appear to have fallen foul of the rules for cabinet ministers on misleading the House. Obviously, select committee is undertaken within the Houses of Parliament and therefore falls under those rules, which for the MPs means, funnily enough, they can libel people and not be subject to not be subject to legal proceedings for doing so. I'm not quite sure. I can kind of understand the reasoning behind that, because it would allow MPs to voice concerns about things that may well not otherwise feel confident in doing for fear of prosecution. Anyway, that aside, it also means that if you intentionally mislead the House, then you should retract that statement. Well, hang on, if you unintentionally mislead the House, you should retract that statement at the first possible incidence, and it's then struck from the record. So essentially what Liz Truss appears to have done, on receipt of the correspondence, the written correspondence, it seems that she has not specifically come up with a single incidence of having personally, and that was the question, personally raised the matter of human rights with Gulf states in negotiation, which she claims she had personally done so. That the letter says that those, although it doesn't refer to any specifics, says that the human rights were raised in the discussions, not referring to any specific occasions. Now that suggests one or two things. Either she's even more inept and failed to actually bring up or put together or answer the question she was asked in writing, despite saying she would, or she is being evasive by omission, using careful language to try and avoid culpability for an error, be it intentional or otherwise. Now, the problem comes that intentionally choosing to mislead the House, in other words, lying by design, is the charge that young Boris is essentially up on over Partygate, to be investigated at some point. Now, for the next Prime Minister, within days, weeks, just weeks, I think, of being anointed the new Prime Minister, I use that word carefully. Chosen is probably more accurate. Elected is a very loose term. She was elected, but by a very select group of individuals. Anyway, within days, or at best a few weeks of that, it appears in writing she has chosen to mislead the House. Difficult to determine it as anything other than intentional, which suggests to me that under normal circumstances that would be a resignation offence. She isn't going to do that. But I'm interested to know whether this actually gains any more traction, because it's setting precedents that are concerning. I think it's probably the only way you can put it. She's choosing to effectively mislead her fellow MPs and by association and select committee members of the public, because all these things are broadcast by omission, I suppose, or no, actual pretense. Hopefully she will choose the right thing to do and apologise, say that it was a and error withdraw the statement that she didn't in fact raise the discussion of human rights with leaders of the Gulf states. I don't think she's going to do that. I think she's going to try and do a Boris and stick it out, and we'll see what happens over the coming days. But what would be even more concerning if it's just dropped, that sets an example that is frankly, well, I don't even know how to phrase it. Anyway, that's what I've read. Feel free to make your thoughts on it known in the comments section. Bye for now from sunny Portugal.